I had the opportunity to go to the Greatness Factory, and I saw something very special and very unique. And it got me thinking, what you want to do is you want to have a system where you want to be fiercely independent. And the way you do that is you find a company that wants you to be fiercely independent, wants to coach you, ultimately to get to the business valuation that you're worthy of by teaching you new strategies without having those controls. And that's what the Greatness Lab does. You do it on your terms.
I was thinking as you were saying that, back when in my women's basketball coaching days, every summer they had what was called the Nike team, and that was the 12 best players in the state of Tennessee that we amalgamated into one team. But here was the cool part: we got to hand select the coaches, and so I would go and get the 5 best coaches in the state of Tennessee, and we would coach the 12 best players, and you would just be shocked. When you had that kind of firepower, that kind of intellectual property, that kind of know-how, how you could go and win. And I think of being a financial advisor is no different. When you have the best coaching, you have the best infrastructure, you understand the marketing game, you have the best leadership and mentorship, and you gravitate to what I call the big table, then you're going to move at an expedited rate. So if you were saying, what are the differentials between the Greatness Lab and other places that are out there, what would you say are the core differentials?
Well, I think that the first, number one, you said it, and you hit it right on the head, is coaching, right? So I attribute, and I say this a lot, 50% of my success had to do with me, what I brought to the table. I was willing to work hard, be coachable and committed. I wanted to get better every single day, but no matter how good you are, you're only as good as the coach and the team that you play for. So the other 50% of my success had to do with the fact that I was able to learn from great people. I'm a recovering Patriots fan. I grew up in New England, and they won a lot of championships, and they went through a tough time, right? The difference between the team this year that arguably may go to the Super Bowl, time will tell, and last year is 2 people. It's Mike Vrabel, right, and Josh McDaniels. And what the key attributes to those 2 people are, they have in common, is they worked under a great coach. Arguably, we could argue today, but Bill Belichick. And interestingly enough, Bill Belichick worked under Bill Parcells, right? Great leadership and great coaching creates great players and teams, and great players and teams win championships. And that's just a proven fact. So if you're in a situation, where you are, say you're a $500,000 producer and you're saying, geez, I'd like to get to $1 million. Or you're a $2 million producer and you'd like to get to $5 million. If you're a $5 million producer, right, and you'd like to get to 50 million, because I believe that if in fact that you can do 5, you've got a lot of the pieces, but you're missing some of them to go to 50, right? And that is one of the key differentiators. Number 2, right? So coaching is number 1, right? A lot of people are asking you, what is it about your production? A lot of companies or recruiting says is, how do we get you to produce more? And I think that's the wrong question. What the Greatness Lab will be able to answer for you. The question is not how you produce more. It's how do you produce an exit for your business in the future and reverse engineer what it takes in order to be able to get there. If in fact that you've sold a practice or you've purchased a practice, you're in a valuation perspective that has its own levels of limitations. I happen to be a purchased Florida financial advisor, sold 60% of its business in a private equity. And what I've learned in the last 3 years is invaluable information that now I can reverse engineer and coach any person who has a growth mindset that wants to be able to produce at higher levels, how to get the maximum valuation when they decide to leave on their terms without any limitations associated with it. So number 2, I think it's about business building, not practice building, right? Number 3 is obviously it's the flexibility for you to be able to do amazing things by not having the rules and restrictions associated with what you can and can't do inside of an organization, right? So just think of it this way. You need great product, you need great people, and you need the ability to execute by being flexible and nimble in building your business. So if you want to use our RIA, great. We can help you with that. You want us to help you build your own RIA, which adds to your entity value. We can do that. You want to use our broker dealer? Great. You don't want to use our broker dealer? That's okay too. You want to use our insurance services. So you want best in class products and payouts, and you want to be able to use those. We have a full lineup as a full IMO, insurance market organization, as part of one of the largest in the industry today. But if you don't want to use that, that's okay too, right? Or you say, hey, I just want to be able to, I want to be able to have somebody do my payroll. I want somebody to do my compliance. I want somebody to help me with my client acquisition strategies. I want somebody to do advanced case support. But I don't want to move over all my accounts or have to make this major commitment. That's what the Greatness Lab's all about, right? So the fourth thing, and I think the most important as well, is community. I think financial advisors and financial services professionals lose community. And we are going to bring that community back, right? And I think that's an important part. Masterminds, activation events. Coach, you and I have, I don't know how many of these we have scheduled coming up over the next year, probably 4 in Nashville, right? We're talking about doing a special event. Coach and I both have private aircrafts. If in fact you want to come have a seat at the biggest and most talented individuals at one of our homes, and either down in Clearwater or up in Tennessee, and just have a 3 or 4 day mastermind session where you walk away from there with a strategy that's going to help you blow up your business, fly private with us to a special event. We can make that happen, So we have all of this community, which is really like-minded people getting together who've had different experiences in order to share those experiences in order to grow this to another level.
You would be shocked at what a person that has potential and then adds coaching and structure and culture, get in proximity to big time people, what can happen to that person. What I sensed at FFA was a tremendous culture of what I would call positive expectancy, right? I feel like when you study cultures, there's really 3 things that people look for: trust, and trust not being, can I trust you, but out of all the people I could work with, who is the most qualified to help me reach my goals? Okay. I trust that everybody on planet Earth, these are the most qualified people to help me go reach my goals, which in this case would be, producing for an exit versus just improving production. Okay. So it's a very important part. The second piece is what's called belonging. And there's something called belonging cues. When you study dynasties, whether it be the Patriots or other teams, they have belonging cues. They're part of something.
Yep.
And then a sense of purpose. Those are the 3 things that I've witnessed at FFA, and this is going to be kind of FFA 2. So when you think about it, this is going to give you a chance to do all the things that Jason just mentioned, plus get the best coaching in the world, plus be around the best people in the world. And we think this is going to get you to a really, really expedited path toward your exit. Now, the vehicle that people choose, and you and I talk a lot about the vehicle.
Yeah.
And I always say, you got a primary skill, there's a problem you solve, and then you choose a vehicle. The truth is, this particular business, based on what you believe, is one of the best vehicles in the world for an exit. Other vehicles could be very hard, but you believe, let's make an argument to all the people who are watching, why you believe this vehicle is an excellent vehicle to be in.
Well, the first thing is the challenge that I see today of the decisions that are made in financial services with people taking money, not as an exit, but as a recruit, and not understanding the unintended consequences associated with that. So let me give you an example. There is no such thing as a free lunch. I think everybody knows that. And what I keep hearing from other folks that are out there is they say, well, these people will give me money. So there's a lot of places out there today that if you wanted to be recruited over from your practice, you take cash. But there is no such thing as a free lunch. I was talking to a gentleman the other day that says, yeah, I got to pony up the money and I break even 2 years out. But I have a 9-year contract with this person that I make money for 9 years. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense if you really think about it. There's no such thing as a free lunch. What you really want to do is you're better off taking the better deal payout wise, right? And then structuring your business to scale and then selling it as an exit. So just think a normal practice will get 1 times commission or 3 times, maybe 4 times assets under management. Whereby as a good business, a good, well-run financial business, financial services business can get a 15 to 20 times EBITDA multiple. So if you're doing 5 million, you're talking about, depending on the way it's structured, upwards of 75 or $100 million company, right? Or if you have 2 million, depending on how it's structured, you may have a 20 to $40 million company. So stop thinking about this in little terms, because by taking checks, by looking at this thing, by being lured over that you're giving it up in some other way, control, ownership of your business, ability to exit, scale, because everybody has rules on you. What you want to do is you want to have a system where you want to be fiercely independent. And the way you do that is you find a company that wants you to be fiercely independent, wants to coach you, ultimately to get to the business valuation that you're worthy of, by teaching you new strategies without having those controls. And that's what the Greatness Lab does. We don't have those restrictions in terms of how you affiliate with us. You don't have to move over 4,000 accounts. You don't have to go to all your clients and explain to the reason why you're changing your broker dealer. You do it on your terms, the way you want to do it, as long as it gets you to the scale that you want to for yourself.
Yeah, and I think about, we're going to be coaching people on the top 5 habits of the top 1% of financial advisors. We're going to be coaching them in how to become people of interest in the world. We're going to be teaching them how not to be highly talented yet undercapitalized, because there's so many people out there. Yep. And we're going to be combining that with monthly StreamYards, master classes, in-person events, unique experiences, and we're really going to build something really special here. And everybody's going to benefit at ability to have a much higher opportunity at some point in the future. So let's go into the future. A person who wants to be interested in the Greatness Lab, what if they're out there watching us today and they're like, man, I want to know some more about this, what do they do?
Well, the first thing you can do is you can check us out, right? So the Greatness Lab, the website's live, the LinkedIn profile's live. Here we are, we're live as well. The second thing is you can message myself or Coach Burt or Nathan Leedy. There'll be a bunch of people that you'll see out there. You can message us and say, hey, can we have a quick call? I'd like to just learn more about what that would look like in application, whether that's the types of products and services, the type of coaching that's available to you, the events that we have for the year already planned out with Coach and Jana. And I think that's the best first step, right? I think that's the best thing to do, is to reach out to us and say, hey, I want to learn more. And for those of you folks who know me, you also know that this is very not like me to be out there. So, as I always say, I'm a great operator, behind the scenes type of person who's putting pegs in holes and playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers, right? But what Coach has taught me is the value of becoming out there and being a person of interest and seeing what happens as a result of that. Some of the people that I've met, the level of sophistication, the level of professional, the business owner that's looking at exits, or the amount of private equity opportunities that have stumbled back towards me as a result of putting myself out there, is one of the ways that you can leverage the ability of Coach and myself to be able to get scale inside of your business. I get a question all the time from somebody that says, how do I attract more clients like you, right? How do I attract more clients like you? Well, first and foremost, you need to get coaching from people who are clients like us to be able to give you the advice in order to be able to get those clients. And if you're going to be able to scale your business, how do I learn? How do I scale? I got to scale that type of thing by learning from people who have scaled their businesses and have had exits before.
Yep. Well, I think this is the big table, folks. You hear me talk about the big table a lot. This is an opportunity to get a seat at a much bigger table. So if you're out there and you're watching this, you're going to be seeing us do a lot of things, and you're interested, we'd love to have a conversation with you. I don't think the way we're going to do the Greatness Lab has ever been done this way. I do believe that you can manufacture greatness in people. I do believe if you expose them, you activate the drive inside of them, you give them the necessary selling systems and conversion and everything they need, plus this new know-how that a lot of people don't have, which is how to really produce the exit versus just grow your production. I think this is going to be a game changer. So, Jason, I'm excited about this. We're going to build something really special. We're going to take a lot of people are going to join us on this journey, and we're going to manufacture their greatness, man.
Let's do it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.